So one local woman is making headlines across the country. She wrote her own obituary. Emily Phillips died last week. She was 69 years old. She passed away just 29 days after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. She didn't let her death, though, and her diagnosis define her life. And her humor and her courage is inspiring people across the country. She wrote, in part, "It pains me to admit it, but apparently I have passed away. Everyone told me it would happen one day, but that's simply not something I wanted to hear, much less experience. Once again, I didn't get things my way." She went on to remember growing up, leading her high school in a Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans, marrying the tall, dark, and handsome man of her dreams, as she described in her obit. She concluded with this: "I'll leave you with this. Don't cry because I'm gone. Instead, be happy that I was here." Or maybe you can cry a little bit after I have passed away. "Today, I'm happy and I am dancing, probably naked." Joining me now is her daughter, Bonnie Phillips Upright. I'm going to try to get through this without crying, by the way, because when I was reading this yesterday, it was so hard for me because I'm very close to my mother, and I can't even imagine. Yep. How did take me on this journey? Because you were fortunate in the fact that living close to your mom, yes, at least in our area, growing up in Orange Park, having 3 children, that you have had a lot of time with her. But to get that kind of a diagnosis, and then 29 days later, did you have any idea that it would happen so quickly?
Well, thanks to the internet, you know, you can Google anything, and once we knew the diagnosis, of course, I immediately go to the internet and I look, and we knew pretty quickly. We also knew she'd been sick for a few months and just hadn't been diagnosed yet, so we knew that the time was running out. 29 days was shocking, though, you know, from start to finish.
But you had a very kind of, you know, well, we're just going to use this as an opportunity to say all the things, right?
We did. We talked about that, and I said, well, Mom, you know, a lot of folks don't have the opportunity to say what they want to say, do the things they want to do. And she said, well, we're not going to make this big, sad, morose kind of a thing. We've always said what we wanted to say. Again, I've lived here in the area most of my life. She's been here. So I'm very, very fortunate to have had the time that I had with her. And she just approached this with such dignity and a wonderful sense of humor, obviously.
Yeah, clearly. I want to talk a little bit about her life. Okay, we have these just fantastic pictures. This is her, obviously, with the grandkids, of course.
Yes.
And you know, she was a teacher, an educator for many years. So there are people who are watching this morning, no doubt, who remember her because she was their teacher. Absolutely.
She taught for more than 25 years in Clay County. So a number of folks out there, I'm sure, had my mom as a teacher. And she was fantastic. And what's really cool about this story, I think, is obviously she was a teacher of elementary school children for so long. But in the end, the lessons she's taught us as adults now with this obituary, I think, just brings it all full circle.
Well, and it's interesting too, because as we look at these pictures that she certainly discussed, and am I assuming that's your dad?
That is not my dad.
No, that's not your dad. Okay, that was her. No, but she won a beauty pageant.
She did win she was Miss Waynesville. She was in the Miss North Carolina pageant.
Yes, so, yes. So that was right. But Dad, tall, dark, handsome, as she described, love of her life for
47 years. 47 years married. This week was their 50th anniversary of their first date. It was 2 days ago.
Oh, gosh, Bonnie. I want to read a little bit.
Okay.
Tell me more, because
it
is just amazing, if it's not too uncomfortable for you.
No, please do.
I just, so she was talking a little bit about her titles, and of course being very, very proud to be a grandmother, without a doubt. And then she goes on to say, a loving wife, a comforting mother, a dedicated teacher, a true and loyal friend, and a spoiling grandmother. And if you don't believe it, just ask me. Oh, wait. I'm afraid it's too late for questions. Sorry. That humor, did you inherit that from her?
Gosh, I hope so. I hope so. She's always had a wonderfully wicked sense of humor, and obviously, you know, putting that into her obituary, really it defines her. It's who she is.
Now, I know that she showed this to you and your brother and your family. What was your initial reaction as she's there, not well, and you're reading this? Because you don't want to laugh, but you almost...
No. So she first told me about it, and I said, I don't want to read it. Thank you very much. And then a couple days later, she said, let me read you the lead. And I finally said, okay, fine, you can read me the first line. And I knew then the direction it was going. About 2 weeks later, when we were at hospice, she actually read it to us. She said, I want to read it to you. And how do you say no to your mom when she's sick? So we said, okay. And we did exactly that. We laughed at the appropriate times. We cried at the appropriate times. And I've said this a lot this week. There's a line in Steel Magnolias where Dolly Parton says, laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. That is really helping us through it, and it's the most amazing gift my mother could have given us, was this wonderful story and the love and attention she's receiving.
And what do you think, too, the fact that people are now remembering your mother, even though they've never even met her, because it's literally going around the country. It's been on TV and, you know, national broadcasts. Certainly that was never her intent, but it's just... so many people moved by your mom.
It's amazing, and I know everyone thinks their mom is special and their mom is the very best. I think I have a little bit of proof now that maybe mine is a notch
Very
above
much
others,
so.
and I think she just would be getting a huge kick out of this and would be quite humbled in many ways. But the mark she has left is better than any building that could have been built or anything named in her honor, which she actually referenced.
I want to just end with this if we can. So I was born, I blinked, and it was over. No buildings named after me, no monuments erected in my honor, but I did have the chance to know and love each other. And every friend as well. You're going to have to finish. 'Cause I can't do it. And every friend.
As well as all my family members. How much more blessed can a person be? Thank you.
All right. I can't finish.